Hello my loves, and welcome back to my channel. This is my second floss tube, but I'm calling this floss tube 1 because the last one I did was not what the community standard is. I realized that I was talking to the viewers I already have instead of the ones that could potentially stumble across my video because it was a floss tube and not a diamond painting video. So I'm going to start from scratch. Hi, my name is Abigail. I am 27 years old and I like to diamond paint and cross stitch. My channel primarily focuses on diamond painting. As I kind of stated earlier. And I have been doing this YouTube thing for a little over a year now. I really love it. I've been diamond painting for basically since the beginning of the thing. So I've been doing it for quite a while. And I built up quite the stash, but recently I was introduced to cross stitch, and I was always somebody who said I would never do it. It's so time consuming, it's not worth it. I did it. So I have a couple people to blame for this. One of them is on Instagram, Marumi Crafts. I saw them working on a tiny little pumpkin Halloween one, and I liked that, and I asked them about their personal experiences. And my best enabler friend, Bev Bee. She posted a picture of, I think it was a Mothman for the cryptid SAL. Needless to say, I'm crazy enough to have jumped into my first SAL after literally stitch along. SAL is a stitch along. Literally like a week of cross stitching. So I actually learned to cross stitch coincidentally live. So I filmed the floss tube Friday before I went live. I go live on my channels on Friday nights 8 to 9 p.m. Sometimes it's diamond painting. Last week it was cross stitching. I went on a walk live. I went on a car ride live. Sometimes I'm coming home from work live. I go live and I do whatever it is that I'm doing at that time. So last week I did some cross stitching live, but the week prior I actually learned to cross stitch live. So let's see, I've been cross stitching for, tomorrow will be 2 weeks. Today is Thursday the 19th, 16th, sorry. Oh, today is my 11-year anniversary. I'm hoping to get this video up today, fingers crossed. So a little bit about me is covered, how I got into cross stitching is covered, so I'm going to move into why I started. I kind of covered it a little bit, but we'll get into more detail. So I did see that picture of the Mothman for the cryptid SAL, and I was like, I want to do this, and so I started doing research, and I spent a lot of time late at night on my phone researching cross stitch, and then the next day I purchased a kit. I purchased it on Amazon and it was delayed. Amazon hates me right now. I don't want to discuss how much they hate me. It's a thing. I don't know why it's a thing, but it's a thing. It's happening. So I waited and I was like, you know what, whatever. I'm just gonna go to a craft store. So I went to a craft store and I picked up a couple things. So the first one I purchased is not actually the first one I received. It's actually the most recent one, kit that I've received. So I will briefly go into some of the things I went into last video. If you're interested in checking that out, I've now named it 0.5, Flosstube 0.5, and this one is going to be called Flosstube number 1. It's the easiest way to make it work in my head because I don't want to remove that video because it was my first attempt at Flosstube, so I'm putting 0.5 instead. So let's see, I had bought four projects, and coincidentally I started 3 of the 4. If you are not new to me, if you watch my diamond painting videos, you know that I typically have way too many whips going. So this video and this craft is going to be no different. I started 3 of the 4. Yes, 3 of the 4. Okay, so the first one that I picked up, well, I'll show you which ones I picked up first. So I picked up this little fox. He was cute and he was cheap. I think he was like $2, $3. And this is, I now know that I'm supposed to tell you what kind of thing this is. This This is 18 count Ada, and it is 6-strand cotton floss, so it is not DMC. Yeah, no, it is DMC. It's DMC, except for 310 is not. It's just black. So I did start him. Here are the instructions. I did start him. This is actually the one that I started live, and I got a fair bit through. And then I realized that I wasn't really having, I think I could probably do 18 count now that I've become more familiar with it. But because it was 18 count, it was not a good first option for me. So I was like, okay, whatever. I got this other kit called My First Stitch. We'll get to that one in a minute. I did want to just keep showing you the rest of these. So I also got this one. This was like $2, a little flamingo dude. And I don't think this one is definitely 14 count. It's got its pattern, its instructions, its little bit of Ada, and all 3 of the ones that I've shown you so far did have frames. The little fox one had a frame, see the little frame back there, and like a mounting piece. And this one also has a frame and a mounting piece. I did want to just look and see if this was 310. No, it's not. It's not. This is not DMC. So this little kit is not DMC. So I got that one. And then the next one that I picked up was the Bee. So I want you to take a really, really nice close look at this. I'll show you why in a second. So this one was like $5. Yeah, $4.99. And what drew me to this is I like bees. I've always kind of liked bees, but I especially like bees now because of Bev Bee. But when my son was little, he used to watch bees, and so I always said that I would get his name tattooed with a little, like, in cursive, with a little bee at the end of it, because he used to watch bees when he was little. And now I have added incentive to like bees because Bev Bee, so it's really a twofer. But this is my first, I mean, this is a whip. The fox is a whip. This is still technically a whip, but I want you to look at this. This is the expectation. This is what it was supposed to look like, and this is the reality. I mean, to be fair, I kind of like this one better because it's a more cartoon version, and that's kind of the bee that I like best. I like realistic looking bees, but this one is, it reminds me more of the Winnie the Pooh bee. And I will show you, okay, so funny story. I thought that the term butt just meant the back. So I've just been saying, do you want to see my butt? And people were like, why are you saying that? So evidently it's not a thing, but I would like to petition to make it a thing. I thought I heard somebody say it, but everyone says no, nobody says that. So it's now a thing, so if you would like to use the term butt, I'm going to. I forgot to show you my fox butt though, so let me show you my fox butt. So I didn't get very far on him, but my butt is super clean on that one. And then here is my bee, and here is my bee butt. Not as clean on that one. Okay. And then I did pick up one more kit at the craft store. I picked up this one, and this is DMC, so the floss is going to be DMC. This one was $10. It is 14 count Ada, so all of them were 14 except for the fox, which is the one that I just happened to start on. So it came with your DMC floss, so that was nice to have it all kind of ready to go like that. That's really pretty. I really like the color scheme, and I will get back to this one. I will, because I really like it. And here is how far I got. That's it. So sad. And here is my butt. Not very far on it at all. I don't anticipate necessarily keeping going with this one consistently, just because this was kind of what I started while I was waiting to get my supplies for the cryptid stitch along. So I'm now gonna pull out that one. So this was kind of like an update from last video of what I got started and what I got going. So this is kind of like my update portion, and now we're gonna get into the active whips. And I'm going to use the term active whips because technically 3 of the 4 of the ones that I just shown were whips. They're works in progress. I have started them, but they're not active whips. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm not necessarily going to be considering it a whip unless I actively choose to work on it in between each video. So that's my classification for that. So I went and I did tons of research. Remember I was telling you I was doing research? Tons of research. So what I noticed was, for somebody who is a beginner, I did not want to go out and purchase a really, really expensive piece of fabric, especially one that I wasn't necessarily comfortable working on. So I had to search for 14 count Aida because I realized I think I could probably do 18 count now after having done it for 2 weeks, but like not at the start. Is this my, oh, that's my water right there. Sorry, that's in the way. Ignore my desk also. We're not going to talk about it. Moving on. I did tons of research and I didn't want to spend a crazy amount of money on something that I didn't know if I was actually going to, 1, enjoy, 2, stick with, and 3, I didn't want to get a big piece of fabric and have it be a tiny count. Because what I learned while I was doing tons and tons of research is that 14, the number 14, 18, 32, whatever, refers to the number of stitches in an inch. So you can fit 14 stitches in a 14 count Aida. So I wanted a bigger count, and because of that it needed to be a bigger fabric, and I didn't want it to be an expensive piece of fabric because I was beginning and I didn't know anything really, even so much as whether or not I would stick with it. So while I was busy doing all that research, I decided, you know what, here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to go to Michael's and I'm going to buy a piece of Aida. The 2 options there were white and oatmeal. Neither one really made me particularly happy. So I went and bought a piece, or I bought a dye, and I dyed my own Aida. So this is my 14 count hand dyed Aida. It's got not too much modeling. I'm actually actively distressing it as I go. But this is my hand dyed fabric. The reason that I'm distressing it is because at the same time that I bought all of my supplies, I also bought this. And this, for some reason, tends to stain my fabric. It leaves behind a red-brown residue ring, so you can kind of see it. So I've been actively distressing it by trying to take it off with an alcohol wipe, which incidentally changed the color, removed some of the dye because I didn't do a good dye job. It was just it was kind of like a rush dye job. So I am now currently actively distressing it to make it all look good, because if you can kind of see here the difference in above the word cryptids. So I'm actively choosing to do that now. I actually like the way it looks. If I could re-dye this fabric, I would use color stay to make the color stay. But I'm actually really happy with the outcome because it was A, my first stitch along, B, my first big project, and it was my first dye job. I never dyed a piece of fabric. Like, I'm sure I've tie-dyed in the past, but it's different, you know? But this is how far I've gotten on him. Them, I guess, because I think the Mothman is a boy, and I don't know what the night crawlers are. Bev kind of spoiled it for me. I said that the night crawlers look like that girl who put her pajama pants up to her shoulders and danced around. You've probably seen Bev's video, so I will link Bev in the description box just in case you are not aware of who she is. You should definitely be aware of who she is because she has tons of fun. Okay, so regarding this project, this is, okay, so it calls for, I have all my little printouts here. I have tons of printouts, by the way, so we'll get to those in a second. This is a 199 wide by 244 high. It's portrait orientation. So the Witchy Stitcher, who is putting on the cryptid stitch along, her pattern is, or no, the one that she's working on is 30 count. So her measurements are 23 by 23 for her fabric. They also gave fantastic instructions for how to basically calculate and figure out how big you need yours to be depending on what count you went with. So I went with 14 count, so that meant that my design was going to be 20 by 23. Unfortunately, I was unable to find a piece of fabric that was within my beginner budget. Like I said, I wouldn't have a huge problem buying a more expensive piece of fabric if I knew I was going to stick with it, if I was not a novice, if I wasn't such a beginner. So I ended up just using the conversion method that is inside of the pamphlet when you purchase the pattern. So what the stitch along is, I'm sure you know what a stitch along is, but just in case you're new to cross stitch and you've never heard the term stitch along. So this was a schedule. I think this was the free information sheet that I got. So the frame, so this is a frame. It was released on August 1st. The first cryptid was released on the 3rd of September. This is a Mothman. The second one was released on the 10th of September. Here is the night crawlers. And the next cryptid will be released tomorrow, and then we'll have a week off. So this stitch along is going technically from August 1st all the way until you finish it, sometime past January 21st. We also got all of the supplies we were gonna need as well. So I printed this out and I picked out my fabric and I did the measurements that were included in, or the configuration and the measurements that were included in the thing. So basically you pay one time, you're paying, I think it's $20 Canadian, so it works out to 18 and change American, I believe. Maybe a little less, I'm not sure. So that you pay one time and you are granted access to a page, and on that page you'll have the patterns, and as they go the list will get longer because you'll have more cryptids, but this is the first pattern. This was the cryptid frame. It is a total of 9 pages. Obviously I can't show you the pattern, but I did want to show you my favorite page. So page 1 is going to be the top, top left corner. Page 2 is the middle top, and then page 3 is the top right corner. Page 4 is going to be the middle of the left, and then this is page 5, which is my favorite page. Nothing. So I can't wait to just automatically go from 4 to 6. That's my favorite page, and that's also my favorite joke to tell. Every person I mention this to, I mention that page 5 is my favorite. That's just my personal little joke, but you can see how the pattern is working out. So obviously page 5 would be right here, so there wouldn't be anything here until the cryptids get released. So yeah, like I said, the frame, I'm on page 3 of the frame, I believe. Yeah, I'm on the last little bit of page 3, and then page 4 will be going down here, and then page 5, and then page 6, 7, 8, and then 9. So 9 will have the least stitching on it next to page 5. So that is how far I've gotten. So I did want to show you an up close look. So when I first started cross stitching, which is part of the reason that my bee looks like a damn mess, is because I didn't know what I was doing when it came to back stitching. But I ended up taking, so you can see how bad it looks. Focus, there you go. You can see how bad it looks, the back stitching. It's not good. But then when I was back stitching the night crawlers, I really had fun with it. I really enjoyed it. I found it quite therapeutic, because when you're looking at a pattern, you have to be focused, you have to be paying attention, making sure that you're counting correctly. But when you're back stitching, I was literally just going around them, and I had so much fun doing that. It was really fun. So I've done so far Mothman and the night crawlers, as well as page 1 and 2, working on page 3 over here. I've got one more bat little thing to go, and then I have the corner, and then I basically have about this much to go for page 3. But I was having really fun. I was really having fun with the back stitching. The one thing from the Mothman that I have not completed yet, and I will point that out and show it, is there are some skulls on there. They're supposed to be on either side of the little embellishment here. I chose not to do those skulls because I love glow in the dark. I love glow in the dark so much. So if you are not new to me, you know this. But if you are new to me and you're just by chance stumbling upon my channel and stumbling upon me because of Flosstube, hi, nice to meet you. I hope you stay. Diamond painting is actually really similar to Flosstube. We'll get to that in a little bit. And we kind of already covered it, but I will go over it again. But I love glow in the dark. This painting behind me is Medusa, and I've got her eyes glowing as well as all of the snakes. I have an Alice in Wonderland where she's glowing, the silhouette of her is glowing, and then you have the Cheshire Cat in the sky and his eyes and mouth are glowing. What else do I have glowing? I have a beautiful diamond painting of Jack and Sally on the mountain, and they're against a moon, and I've made the moon glow in the dark. It looks so amazing. What else have I made glow? I'm sure there's more. I love glow in the dark so much. So when I found out that there was glow in the dark embroidery floss, I will be getting some of that to go on either side of my... Did I just get a package? I think I just shut. I did get a package. It is, however, unrelated to stitching, so we will move on. But I love glow in the dark, was basically the point of that whole segment. So I intend to, I have floss everywhere now. I intend to get some glow in the dark floss for the skulls, and I will then outline them as well. So that part is missing from the Mothman, but that's it as far as that goes. And then let's talk about frogging. I had to frog the entire, floss everywhere. I had to frog the entire corner of this piece once. I had to frog night crawlers, the whole word. I was one stitch too far to the right. And I also had to frog little bits here and there. But the most devastating was probably night crawlers, because I completed it. And I was so happy. Well, I had almost completed it, and I was so happy because it didn't take me that long to do the words. I was pretty proud of myself on that front. But of course, like I said, it was one stitch too far to the right. So instead of having the N in Nightcrawler start directly underneath the frame, it actually started not under the frame. So when I got to the R, it was under the frame completely instead of inside of the frame. So that was pretty upsetting. I also had to frog the Mothman one time, not the whole thing, just one of his wings. Another thing I wanted to point out was how happy I was when I did his little feet and antenna. Oh my gosh, look at this little boy's feet. Oh my god, look at his little feet and his little antennas. I love them so much. They're so adorable. I love him. So, I have to say though, after having done the Mothman, I'm just gonna sort of move my floss around. It's everywhere. My desk is a mess. I bought this desk for working on YouTube stuff, diamond painting, crafting in general, and it's kind of just become a second like storage area, so pardon my mess. I have organized this thing probably more than 10 times in the last 6 months, and as soon as I organize it, it's just automatically destroyed, so ignore the mess. Focus on the rest. Okay. Let's see. I don't think I have anything else to talk about with this. I'm just super excited to be doing so. I think I'm doing well. All things considered, I think that this much progress since the 3rd of September, and with me having not bought the supplies until, I don't know, it must have been Friday. It must have been the September 3rd. No, it wasn't. It had to be a different day. I don't know what day. I could probably look back and see what day I went to Michael's to obtain these supplies and figure out based on that. But then even then, I dyed it that day. So I'll look and see what day I went to Michael's. I dyed the fabric that day, and I put it in the dryer, and then we were off. Let's see, what day did I purchase this? Michael, September 7th. So, September 7th. So oh my god, in 9 days. And I didn't stitch today, so it's really 8 days. In a matter of 8 days, I was able to get this far. So I'm really, really proud of myself. I'm really, really, really moving on it. This is my focal piece for right now, at least until the frame gets finished. Once the frame gets finished, then I will only have the cryptid that gets released that week. And they're only releasing 3 a month, I think. So you'll get every last Friday of the month off to play catch up, which is fantastic for people like me who has not finished the frame. Yeah, so our next cryptid releases tomorrow, and then the 24th of September, a week off, and then it starts back up with the 1st, the 8th, the 15th, the 22nd, and then Halloween week is off. And then again in November, there's 3 cryptids being released, and December another 3. You have 2 weeks off in December for Christmas, and then an additional 3 in January. So this won't end till after the 21st. So that is my cryptid, my little cryptid dudes. So that was kind of the start of the next haul. So obviously I did end up purchasing the pattern and along with it the little cryptids. So that was that, and then the fabric piece, the dye, and all the floss. I don't have a fancy fabric, I don't have a fancy project bag. I'm looking to get one though. I have so much stuff everywhere. I'm looking to get one. So stay tuned for that. But currently I'm keeping my project in a Diamond Art Club bag because nothing says convert quite like keeping your current hobby in your previous hobby. And that's not to say I'm done diamond painting. It's just currently I'm more into cross stitching. I did want to mention really quickly, if you are stumbling upon this video from the hashtag Flosstube instead of being new to me or knowing me already, diamond painting is a kind of a dumbed down version of cross stitch. So with cross stitch you're looking at a pattern, and even if you have a stamped pattern onto the fabric piece, it is still a dumbed down version. So I have an example of a diamond painting right here. So this is a diamond painting. You can see that the symbols are here, and then this little baby here is sticky. So he's sticky. And I'm putting the diamonds. You can see the shimmer and the bright, shiny diamonds. I am putting the diamonds on there. So I'm coordinating. And coincidentally, if you didn't know, diamond painting uses DMC. Diamond Dotz does not. But diamond art typically uses DMC. So that's how come I'm so familiar with 310 and stuff like that. And I know that a lot of people hate diamond painting 310, and I know that a lot of people don't really like stitching 310, but give me all of the 310. That is my favorite to diamond paint and to stitch. But this is diamond painting, so it's not all that different. You're making a bigger picture with in this case it's diamonds rather than stitches. But this is my diamond painting. He is coming along. It's a little black cat. I have several planned for this month, but that's not what this video is. So, but yeah, just in case you're new to diamond painting, that is diamond painting. Get him out of the way. So that was that. Okay, so I also don't have a fancy way of storing my floss. So I currently have all the floss that I haven't kitted up yet. We use that term in the diamond painting community as well, kitted up. I have all of that stuff just hanging out in my bag. Several skeins of 310, several of those for this. I accidentally botched one, but I'm using it the best I can. So tons of deeper tones, like I have a ton of 310, and then this one is, oh, that's also 310. Why does it look navy? Ooh, that's not good. This one is $37.99, and we have a dark brown, 938, and then tons of tans, and a couple grays, a couple greens. And this is the way that I'm storing my floss. So this is actually the frame for the bee. So I'll pull him back out and show you how I am multi-purposing the bee, if I can find it. Okay, here it is. So on the back of the picture, on the back of the pattern, you have this picture showing you how to style your frame. So this is the blue frame. This is a blue frame that is supposed to be for the bee. It is now holding my floss. So in the meantime, before I get my, I don't want to buy everything, but I also want to buy everything. You know what I mean? It's a tough life, okay? But in the meantime, before I get my fancy supplies, this is working for me. I choose to keep the DMC wrapper on it so I can identify what color floss, what DMC it is, if it would focus on my floss instead of me. So that is how I'm keeping it. So it's also got 815 and some more golds and stuff, so a couple of reds. But primarily this is definitely going to be black and tan and brown. So this is how I'm keeping my floss for the time being. All my loose strands up here. So that's how that's going. And I just kind of take all of that and I throw it in the bag. As far as my needle minder, it is from Enabler's Outpost, which is primarily a diamond painting shop. They just recently started selling their own diamond paintings. Enabler's Outpost, Elizabeth is one of my very, very good friends, but she used to, I think she's kind of phased it out, I could be wrong, but she makes made a whole bunch of cover minders, and coincidentally cover minders are the exact same thing as needle minders. So I have tons and tons of cover minders here that are actually needle minders. Like here's a cup of cats that I can use for a needle minder, and here is one that I can use for a flamingo piece. I don't give a flock. So there's that. Cover minders and needle minders are very, very similar. It's literally the same thing, except the cover minder minds your cover and the needle minder minds your needle, you know? Pretty kind of self-explanatory, but also maybe not. So the next portion of this video is going to be the newer stuff that I've obtained since I picked up cross-stitching with my 4 patterns. And then, oh, this one came from Amazon. This was the first one I bought. It is a dimensions kit. Yeah, a dimensions kit. This is 11 count Ada, so it's definitely very beginner friendly. It comes with the hoop. One thing I did notice is that all of my kits, maybe that's intentional, come with some way to frame it. If you choose to frame things on hoops, I don't know that people do that, but just a thought that I had. So it comes with your 11 count Ada. So this is much bigger than my 14 count that I am currently used to. But looking at that 18 count from the Fox, I could probably do that. So we'll see. And then it came with the floss, the pattern, the hoop, and a needle. So whether or not I actually ever get to this one remains to be seen, because this was the one that I picked up to try it, and then I got impatient and didn't wait. So there's that. That is the first part of this haul. And now we'll get into some other things. So I don't have a color printer, so sorry about that. But I did obtain 3 more PDF files as well as 2 more physical patterns. So the first one I want to mention is Boho Moon, and I picked up this one off of Etsy. It's done in black and white. I'm trying to pull up my Etsy information right now so I can tell you all about it. The people are picking up my garbage. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so I got this one from Cross Stitch Foxy. The price was originally $5.25. It was on sale for $2.62, so it's like 50% off. So I did go ahead and pick it up. And the specifications for this one, it is going to be 113 wide by 163 high. Basically 8 inches wide by 11.6 inches high. Let's see, and then centimeters would be 20.50 by 29.57. So for the thread information, it was done originally on black Ada. So this is how it came on black Ada. Or this is how the model was stitched on black Ada, and the strand that they chose for it was Desert Sand. So it's only one DMC for this picture. This was something I was interested in potentially doing something fun with. I really only picked this pattern out because it was on sale. I mean, I would have gotten it eventually. Definitely would have gotten it eventually, but probably not today. I did go ahead and pick it up though because it was on sale. This is more of a not to use the term, but this is going to be a side piece. This is going to be a back burner piece. I'll get to it when I get to it. I just primarily picked it up because I did see such a discount on this. And this is a 4-page pattern, so you're going to get basically it broken up into chunks. So you're going to get quadrants here. So it's 4 pages that way. The next PDF file that I bought, so I am new to Flosstube and I've been watching tons and tons of Flosstube. I found Dee's 20 Stitches. They are a new Flosstuber, relatively new. I'm newer than them, but they collaborated with their friend Kari. I don't have the information on Kari, but they ended up doing a cross stitch pattern that sold really well. I don't know how long ago, because like I said, I'm brand new to them. So I'm pulling up the color pictures so that you can see them better. Let's see. They did a Halloween collaboration. So this art is based on Kari. Kari did an art print, and the art print that was done, Dee turned it into a cross stitch pattern. So I picked up Hex Hotel, and this is the art print that Kari did to inspire the piece. So this is the piece that started it, and then obviously it got turned into a PDF file. So here is how they chose to stitch that. So it got turned into a PDF file and I picked that up. And so this is going to be a Halloween piece for sure that I attempt to complete. Right now my focus, like I said, is the stitch along, so we'll see. And then this one, it gives you tons of information on the dimensions and stuff. So it's going to be 96 by 170. And it'll tell you based on the size that you go for. For me, I'll be between 14 and 18 count. So I'm looking at needing a piece of fabric with the framing involved, because I do want to potentially frame this. I will need probably a 10 by 20 maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure for sure, but the 14 count is recommended. It's the finished design is going to be 6.9 by 12.1. And then you add in your stitch sizes and stuff. One thing I'm gonna have to worry about when we get to that is French knots, because this does require French knots. So the legend, we have a total of 5 colors, a green, a lavender, white, and black, and then another DMC I'm not familiar with. I'll have to maybe potentially ask about that one. This was stitched by Ariel Duke. The original art, like I said, is by Kari, and the pattern is by D20 Stitches. Let's see. And then in the video where Dee unveiled this collaboration, they did say that the purple and the green color that is stitched is up to you. So what I will do, I will take this as a recommendation and a suggestion. But if a different color speaks to me, depending on what kind of fabric I end up dyeing or buying, I'll do that then. And then in addition to Hex Hotel, this beautiful pattern, they also unveiled 3 little hexes, and they are so cute. They're tiny little ghosty babies, and I did buy both of them. So let me show you what they look like in color. So that is what they're going to look like in color. Uh-oh. Focus, focus, focus. There we go. So that's what they'll look like in color. So both of these, I waited and purposely until I could talk about both of them. So both of them were stitched on 16 count Spring Breeze from Mystic Fabrics. I may get some of that. It doesn't seem too expensive for how much of a beginner I am, so we'll see about that. And then the called for flosses are the same, so it's going to be that purple and that green, and then the white and the black. So the only difference for this one is that this one calls for an additional white, so I'll have to ask a professional. But this is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4 page pattern. And then the little hexes are individual patterns, and that means that this is going to be 3 pages, 1 for each of them. And let's see. So it depends on which one you do, will depend on how much you need. So the widest one is 67 inches and the tallest one is 81 stitches. So they're all going to be relatively small. Let's see. Yeah, we're looking at a maximum of 5 by 6 for 14 count. And obviously the smaller you go, the smaller they will be. So that was really exciting. I did pick both of those up during an overnight shift. I was watching Dee's channel, and Dee mentioned that they were releasing something, and I got them. So this will be a relatively inexpensive project because both of the patterns were, I think I paid $24 Canadian total. Yeah, so it's, each one was $12. Each file was $12. And then the fabric, because these are relatively smaller pieces, it shouldn't be a lot. And then with the thread, it's only 5 colors. So not a huge shopping list. I'll need approximately 2 skeins of black for this one. And looks like 1 of everything else, basically. And I'm not seeing how much of each I'll need for this one. So I will probably buy probably 2 or 3 skeins of the green that I choose and the purple that I choose. Probably 4 or 5 skeins of black, and then probably 2 skeins of white. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening with these. So it is only 5 colors and 4 colors required. The next items that I picked up were not PDF files. I fully 100% am blaming Chris Cross Stitch for this one. Like I said, I've been watching tons and tons and tons of Flosstube. So I saw this originally on Chris Cross Stitch's channel. And I got it on Etsy. It was, I think, like $12 or $11. It's not so expensive. This is going to be a 104 wide by 116 high on 14 count. Is going to be 7.5 by 8 inches. That's really all that matters to me because I'll probably be doing 14, either 14 or 18 count. So the model is stitched on Periwinkle by Weeks Dye Works. Is that right? Yep, Weeks Dye Works. And it is stitched using 2 strands, stitch over 2 using 2 strands. So this is actually stitched on 30 count. So I will, by going down to 14 count, I will double the size basically. Yeah, so is that right? No, because they're doing 2 over 2, so it would be the same size basically. Just a little bit bigger. So this one happens to call for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25-ish colors. I could have miscounted, so I'm not going to call that as true. And then we're going to be back stitching just a little bit for the eyes and the whiskers and the mouths. But this is going to be absolutely gorgeous when it is done. It is one of my pieces that I'm choosing to work on for Halloween. Next pattern that I picked up was Fleming Ghouls. So this one is by, oh, focus on the pattern. So this is by Artith Designs, Amanda May at Artith Designs. So what was really cool about this one is it came packaged really nicely with this around it. And it also came with some stickers. I saved them to show you. Let me pull this out. Yep, here it is. There we go. Some stickers to show you. I got 2 stickers, 3 stickers, and a thank you card. Love that. Packaging is everything, and I really like the way that these 2 pieces were packaged. So this one is more of a book, so it opens like this, and obviously the pattern is inside, and then it came in this envelope, and then with this one it comes in this envelope or baggie, and it comes with, it came with, both of them came with a piece of cardboard so that the pattern would not get bent, so I appreciated that. But this one came in 3 pieces, so you have sort of a front cover and then a back cover which has all of your floss information. I think that I'm not supposed to show you that, so I'm not going to. And then of course your pattern was in between those two with the cardboard. And what was really, really awesome about this pattern is that there is something special about the flamingo. So that flamingo is obviously stitched in 310. However, is it 310? Is that right? Yeah, it's gotta be 310. It has to be. Let me double check that. Now I'm nervous. This was stitched in B. Yeah, 310. It was stitched in 310. However, something special about him, he is shiny in the center. So this pattern comes with the Glamour floss and let's see, Wonderful Glamour. So this is Summer Shower Metallic Silver, and it is used to backstitch the legs and inside of the flamingo. So, and I believe this is 2 strands. I could be totally wrong. But the model is stitched on 32 count lavender diamonds purple Wexfield linen by Silk Weaver Fabrics. The design is stitched with 2 strands of DMC floss over 2 fabric threads. Here we go, this is the information I was looking for. The Wonderful Glamour is a rayon and metallic 2-ply 12 weight thread used for flamingo skeleton costume. So we're going to stitch with 1 strand for the full cross stitches and the back stitching. Okay, so, and then it just goes on to sort of explain how this model was finished. So I have a total of 4 patterns that I want to do for Halloween. So I'm going to have my hands full for sure, in addition to trying to keep up with my stitch along. So I am actually going to see what I can get. I'm not sure about, okay, so I have a needle workshop that is roughly 10 minutes from my job. I'm just gonna clean up while I talk. I'm multitask because I wanna go places today. I have things to do, so I must multitask to get them done. So I have a needle workshop roughly 10 minutes from my house, and I want to go to the needle workshop to see what kind of fabrics they have. However, I don't know that they're going to have these particular fabrics. Obviously I won't know until I get there, but I am also thinking I might hand dye some fabrics because it went so well the first time, and all 3 of these are purpley. So my thought process was dye it purple. Dye your fabric purple. That's my thought. That's my thought. I don't know how good of a thought that is, but that's my current thought. I also picked up, which has not arrived yet, I ordered all 3 of the, this stuff all between the 11th and the 12th. I also ordered a 14 count Ada that I intended to stitch. This is what it looks like. It'll arrive when it arrives. I intended to stitch this on it, but my coworker said it might be too busy. So we'll see what happens. It has not arrived yet, and I don't think it's set to arrive until the 20th. So that's a little disappointing because I wanted to take a smaller project on the road because I'm leaving tomorrow for a mini getaway. I also got several free patterns. I don't really think they're worth mentioning just because they are free, and ideally you can get them too. I'm on the hunt for cross stitch, just Cross Stitch magazine. I called Barnes & Noble, they're not selling it. So we'll see what happens. I might have to order it online, but again, I was hoping to get it before I left, and I'm leaving tomorrow. So that's kind of like my rush when it comes to going to Michael's and getting the dye, because I want it dyed tonight so that I can use it tomorrow in the car. That's the thought, that's the hope. Whether or not that works out, we'll have to see. I don't want to go to the fabric store and ultimately have to settle for what they have there, because if I go to one, I more than likely will not be going to the other. So my plan is to go to Michael's today, pick up the fabric and the dye, and then go to my needle workshop tomorrow, see if they have any other fun patterns potentially, and buy my thread wherever I can. That's the plan. Those are my current floss related stitchy plans. My focal piece until I finish the frame will probably be the cryptid stitch along. However, in the car I'm looking to get one of these patterns completed. So that's the plan. Those are the goals. If you are a floss tuber and you think that I would like your channel, please let me know down below to check you out, because I'm actively looking for more floss tubey people. That is going to be it for today's video. I think I talked long enough. Hopefully you made it to this point in the video, and if you did make it to this point in the video, thank you so much. Which piece do you think I should focus on in the car? Should I focus on the cryptid stitch along? Should I focus on the hex hotel, the 3 little hexes, Halloween cat, or Fleming Ghoul? What are you thinking? Let me know in the comments down below. That is going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you like me and would like to see more from me, whether it is cross stitch related or diamond painting related, please hit subscribe. I would be so happy to have you. Alright, I hope that you are being safe, washing your hands, taking care of yourselves. Bye guys.